Hey, it's Sarah, and today I want to discuss zodiac sign compatibility. Astrology's been used for centuries to help people understand their personalities, their relationships, and their life past. One popular application of astrology is in determining zodiac sign compatibility. And I can tell you, doing private readings, this is probably the number one question. The number two question, of course, is about money. But the number one question is about relationships. So you too probably want to know about compatibility, how likely a relationship is to bloom and turn into full-blown romance, and also, will it last? So in this video, we'll be exploring how compatible you are with different zodiac signs, including strengths and weaknesses of each sign, and providing tips for how people can navigate relationships with different signs. As you can see, we have a lot to cover, so let's do this. In Western astrology, there are 12 signs. The tropical zodiac corresponds with the positions of the Earth in relation to fixed positions in the sky. This is also called Western astrology, and that's the type of astrology that we're going to be discussing today. There are 12 signs of the zodiac in this type of astrology, and each has its unique personality traits, strengths, and weaknesses. These signs are Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. They are then split into elements: fire, water, earth, and air. I personally am a Leo. Let me know your sign in the comment section below. And let's start there with the fire signs: Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. They are known for being very passionate, energetic, and enthusiastic. When it comes to compatibility, fire signs tend to get along best with each other, as they share similar intensity and that desire for adventure and fun. The downside of being a fire sign is sometimes they can come off very driven, very self-centered, very brash, very bold, and very daring. They can also suffer burnout, and their temper is generally run very hot and they explode like volcanoes. Generally, fire signs don't hold on to anger. They get mad and it explodes, and then they're ready to go have lunch, and everything is forgiven. So you can see where this will be a challenge for a lot of the other signs. That's why they're considered to be very compatible with each other. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius usually end up being very good friends and also romantic partners. However, they can also have successful relationships with air signs, as air signs can help to balance out that fiery nature. On the other hand, water signs can be a challenge for fire signs, as water signs are more emotional and sensitive. And honestly, it depends on many different placements on a person's chart. So keep that in mind as we go through this. This is just a general rule of thumb, but everyone's different. Don't miss the chance at a wonderful relationship just because somebody is not quote unquote compatible with you, according to astrology. Earth signs and fire signs can also be a challenging mix, as earth signs tend to be more practical and grounded, which can clash with the impulsive nature of the fire signs. But once again, it depends on the individual. The earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. They are known for being very practical, very analytic, grounded, and hardworking. When it comes to compatibility, earth signs tend to get along best with other earth signs, as they share in the same work ethic and the same practical approach to life. The downside of too much earth element, though, is you have a tendency to get stuck. You don't feel like you're making progress, and you don't seem to be able to find a way out of situations, or find a way to a better job, or find a way just forward. So with too much earth, you'll see that happening in relationships as well. However, they can also have successful relationships with water signs, as water signs bring emotional depth and sensitivity to the relationship. Air signs can be a challenge for earth signs, as these signs are too flighty and too unpredictable for their liking. Earth signs tend to view air signs as being too social, or being too much involved with other people, and also too mutable, too changeable, and too flighty. They don't stick to things long enough. But of course, that's just a perception. They are very hardworking too, as you're about to see in a minute. Fire signs can also be a challenge for earth signs, as I said earlier, as the earth signs are very practical, and fire signs sometimes like to throw caution to the wind and go have an adventure. And so that makes for a tough dynamic in a relationship, whether that is dating or whether that is a parenting relationship too. And we'll probably do another video on that, on parents and which signs make the best parent and the most difficult alignment. For instance, having Scorpio parents, is it really that tough, or is it more advantageous to have a Libra parent? So we'll get into that in another video. So if you haven't already, be sure and subscribe. The air signs. The air signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, and they're known for being intellectual. They love to communicate, whether that is through the written word, whether that's through chatting with friends, social media. They're just out there, they're friendly, they're easygoing, and usually surrounded by admirers. When it comes to compatibility, air signs tend to get along, you guessed it, with other air signs because they have such a similar intellectual view of the world and also such a social nature. But they can, of course, have a successful relationship with fire signs, as the fire sign brings that excitement and adventure into their lives. Generally, they're open to experiencing things and having adventure, but they may not be the person that instigate it where the fire sign does. Water signs can be a challenge for the air signs, as water can be too emotional and too sensitive and could possibly react to harmless flirting that almost all air signs do. That's why that makes for a difficult pairing. Earth signs can also be a challenge because earth signs are, of course, too practical and too grounded and think that, you need to really tighten that belt, not be spending so much money on parties, and you should buckle down and work harder. And of course, this is a generalization. And last but not least, the water signs. The water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. They are known for being very emotional, very intuitive, very empathetic. When it comes to compatibility, water signs tend to really have a tough time getting along with all the signs because two water signs together is not always the best match either. I find that successful relationships are possible with earth signs and water signs, as earth signs can provide that stability and that grounding influence in a water sign's life. Air signs can be a challenge though for water signs, as the air signs can be too detached and live too much in their own analytical mind, and they may not be open to emotional intelligence on the level that the water signs operate on. Depending on, of course, the other placements, your sun, moon, and a rising sign are all very important. So I definitely recommend you having more information. When it comes to dating and long-term relationships, it's really important to consider not just your sun sign, but also your moon and rising sign. Your sun sign represents your core personality traits. Your moon sign represents your emotional nature, and your rising sign represents your outward appearance and demeanor. Compatibility can be influenced by all of these factors. So it's important not to rule out a potential relationship just because your sun signs don't match. Yeah. As I said before, this is of course a oversimplification of this, but I hope it did shed some light on this very fascinating topic. If you would like to know more, I have a longer video on recast. So if you'll just Google Recast TV Serenity Reiki Clinic, you'll find me. And I have several videos there if you would like to know more. In the meantime, let's thank the patrons for making this and all the videos here possible. If you would like to join and become a patron or a community member, we would love to have you. Each offers different perks, and I'll put links below for both of those. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next video. Reiki blessings.